In this lecture, we are going to discuss on von Karman's momentum integral equation, and then how can we predict the wall shear stress, local wall shear stress, or the screen friction coefficient, approximate solution that we are going to see. So this is the time, it is around 1900 when Prandtl was actually studying the problem of boundary layers to solve the viscous flow problem, and the main challenge was that computational ability was not much at that time, or the mathematics was not so developed, like numerical analysis was not so developed, and that is why approximate solution they have suggested. But one of the experiments that Prandtl did at that time, which is very helpful to get some approximate solution, and that was it has been observed, if you consider this is a flat plate, and in this way suppose the boundary layer is developing, then this u, the velocity, divided by u infinity, this particular quantity is function of only y by delta. Okay, so this particular observation actually came from the experimental analysis. That means the shape is not going to change along the x. Basically u by u infinity is function of y by delta only. So this particular observation helps to simple the problem, because actually this u in general is function of x and y, and it is very difficult to find out the velocity gradient at y is equal to 0, because the velocity field, to get the velocity field you actually have to solve the boundary layer equations. Though the boundary layer equation is much more simpler if you compare with respect to the Navier-Stokes equation, but still it was mathematically at that time very challenging. So this was the initial proposal, and von Karman was one of the PhD student of Prandtl who did this particular analysis. And let us see how with the help of this momentum integral equation and by approximate velocity distribution we can solve this problem. So let us start with the analysis. But another student, by the time, let me tell you, another student of von Karman, another student of Prandtl was Blasius, who actually solved at that time the exact solution of this boundary layer problem. And background of Blasius was mathematics, so that is why he solved it, the boundary layer equation, and the exact solution is very close to this approximate solution that we are going to discuss right now. So we'll start, as the name suggests, that it is the momentum integral equation. So within the boundary layer, basically we'll first write the momentum equation, that means the Navier-Stokes equation, and that is u del u del x plus v del u del y, that is the inertia term, and a nu del 2u del y2. This is what is the momentum equation. Now if you integrate this momentum equation, if you integrate within boundary layer along y direction from 0 to the boundary layer thickness, so it will be integration u del u del x into dy from 0 to delta plus integration v del u del y into dy from 0 to delta, and that will be integration nu del 2u del y2 into dy from 0 to delta. Now the first term, if you observe this first term. Let us consider this is term 1, this is term 2, and this is term 3. So what is term 1? You see that term 1 is integration of u del x, that we can definitely write as integration of del x of u square dy and half, that you have to balance, right? So half, this is what is the term 1 that we can write. Now let us see what is the term 2. So term 2, let's go to the next page. So term 2 is what is integration 0 to delta v into del u del y into dy, and this quantity you can write as considering v as the first function into u from 0 to delta minus integration 0 to delta u into del v del y into dy. Okay, so this is what is if you do integration by parts. Now here if you see that at y is equal to delta, what is the velocity? That is v infinity, and at u at y is equal to delta is say u infinity minus velocity at y is equal to 0, x component is 0 because of no slip, y component is also 0 because of no penetration boundary condition. So this part is 0 minus, now you can write this part del v del y, you can write as minus del u del x from continuity equation. Because you know from continuity equation del v del y plus del u del x is equal to 0. So if you just replace this quantity by minus del u del x, this minus will become plus, and this will become 0 to delta u into del u del x into dy. Okay, so this part for the first part, that is v infinity into u infinity. So to get that, let us do the integration. Let us integrate continuity equation. Let us integrate continuity equation within boundary layer. So that will give you integral 0 to delta del u del x into dy plus 0 to delta del u del y, sorry, del v del y into dy, and that is equal to 0. So from the continuity equation, it is clear that this part, the second part, is nothing but v from 0 to delta, and the first part is 0 to delta del u del x into dy, and which is equal to 0, which actually implies that this quantity is v at delta, which is nothing but v infinity minus v at 0, which is equal to 0 because of no penetration boundary condition. No penetration boundary condition means if this is the solid plate at the y is equal to 0, that means at the solid wall the y component of velocity, that is v at y is equal to 0, is equal to 0. That means this plate is not perforated, so no fluid is crossing this particular boundary in the perpendicular direction. Okay, so this is what is called the no penetration boundary condition. So that is 0, and this part we can take on the other side, so that will be minus of 0 to delta del u del x into dy. So v infinity is equal to this quantity that we get from the continuity equation. Now use this value of v infinity in this expression, and let us see what is the final expression of T2 then. So T2 will be v infinity into u infinity. So it will be u infinity into 0 to delta with a negative sign of del u del x into dy. Okay, so we just put the value of v infinity here and multiplied by u infinity, and that plus 0 to delta, it is u into del u del x into dy, this quantity. Okay, so that can be simplified, and this can be written as a minus of u infinity into del x of u dy 0 to delta plus half of del x of u square dy. This is what is the term 2. Now what is the term 3? Let us see. The term 3 was integral nu del to u del y2. Okay, so it was nu into del to u del y2, and that is integrated over 0 to delta, and if you do that you will get nu into del u del y from 0 to delta. So if you do that, at del u del y at y is equal to delta is definitely 0, because this is the flat plate. So at y is equal to delta, what is the velocity gradient? So it is clear that the velocity gradient at y is equal to delta is almost 0. Okay, because this is parallel to this, so the velocity gradient will be 0 at y is equal to delta, because after that there is no change of velocity, so there is no velocity gradient, right? So at y is equal to delta it is 0, so 0 minus nu into del u del y at y is equal to 0. So this is what is the term 3. So now you just club all this term and see what we are getting finally. So T1 plus T2 is equal to T3. So if you do that, then what you are getting is that T1 is half. So T1 plus T2 is equal to T3 if we write. So half integration 0 to delta del x of u square dy. This is what is T1. Then T2 term is minus u infinity 0 to delta del u del x into dy plus this half of this term, and this term is exactly same as the term 1. So you can just simply add this quantity and the term 1, and you need not to write basically this half anymore, because 2 half will complete 1. So you need not to write anything more here. So we have written the first 2 term, and on the other side it is minus of nu del u del y at y is equal to 0. Okay, you can also simplify this quantity nu into del u del y at y is equal to 0 in terms of wall shear stress. As you know that wall shear stress is nothing but nu into del u del y at mu into del u del y at y is equal to 0. Sorry, it is from the Newton's law of viscosity. We know it is mu into del y at y is equal to 0, which is basically the wall shear stress. So if nu is there, so basically you can write this as a minus of wall shear stress divided by rho, because you know that nu is nothing but mu by rho. Now this is what is the equation now. Now further what we can do, let us try to see how we handle this integration under differentiation. So for that we have to use Leibniz theorem. Leibniz theorem of integration under differentiation. So according to that theorem, suppose d dx of some integration of some function is there, say f is function of x and y, okay, and this limit of integration is from a to b, and say this a and b are function of x only, okay. So this quantity according to Leibniz theorem can be written as integration a to b del x of this function f plus this quantity, that is f at p into dB dx minus f at a into dA dx. So this is what is the Leibniz theorem. Now we are going to use this Leibniz theorem for our case. So let us write what is if we consider this function is u square, okay. So case 1 we consider this function is u square, so definitely what we can write is that d dx of u square, sorry, d dx of d dx of integration u square dy, and our case the limit is a is equal to 0 and b is equal to delta, that means the thickness of the boundary layer, so 0 to delta, and that quantity will be equal to what? That quantity will be equal to integration 0 to delta del u square del x into dy plus this function is u square, but u square at where? U square at delta into d delta dx minus u square at y is equal to 0, and that means because of no slip that quantity is 0, and d dx of this a is already 0, is a constant, so that part is definitely 0, okay. So if you observe carefully, this quantity is what we actually required, and this quantity is actually there in our term 1. You observe carefully, this quantity was there in our term 1, okay. You see this quantity. So this quantity then can be written as this quantity minus this quantity, okay. Next, write it for f is equal to u. Leibniz theorem use f is equal to u, a is equal to 0 and b is equal to delta. So then it will be d dx of integration u dy 0 to delta is equal to 0 to delta del u del x. Simply u square will be replaced by u at y is equal to 0, y is equal to delta into d delta dx minus u at y is equal to 0 into d dx of the constant 0. So now definitely again this part is equal to 0, and this quantity, you see this quantity is there in our equation, that is, you see this quantity, and actually this quantity multiplied by u infinity is there. So these two quantities we have to just put their value. Okay, so what we have to find out is this quantity. First let us write what is this quantity. That quantity is d dx of integration 0 to delta u square dy minus u square at delta into d delta dx. That is this quantity. Then what is there? Minus of u infinity, minus of u infinity. So what is that? U infinity into this term, u infinity into this term. So this term can be written as this term, that is d dx of integration 0 to delta u dy minus u x comma delta into d delta dx. Okay, so these are the first two term that is written, and on the other side it is minus nu into del u del y at y is equal to 0. Okay, now it is clear from this expression that this quantity which is negative, and this quantity which is negative is going to cancel with u x comma delta. This u x comma delta, this particular quantity, if you see, is nothing but u infinity, right? U x comma delta, u square x comma delta, that means what is the velocity, what is the velocity at that location, y is equal to delta? Definitely that is u infinity. So if u square x comma delta, we can simply write this quantity as u infinity square, right? So what we are doing is that we just replacing this quantity, we are replacing this quantity by u infinity square, and we are replacing this quantity by nothing but u infinity. Okay, so better you write these quantities now, u x comma delta as u infinity and u square x comma delta as u infinity square. So if you write this quantity as u infinity square and you write this quantity as u infinity, now you see this quantity u infinity square into d delta dx, and here you see minus and minus will become plus. So this quantity is basically going to cancel with this one. So only these two term will be there. One is this one, another one is this one, and between these two term what we can write is that we can write this d dx common, because u infinity is a constant. So d dx is common, and then we can write under integration these two quantities at the same time. So what we can write is, we can write this as this d dx common, and within integral sign we can write what is there, that is u square dy minus u infinity into u dy, u square dy minus u infinity into u dy. Okay, so that is u square minus u infinity into u dy, and that is 0 to delta. So this is what is the quantity that will remain in the left hand side, and on the right hand side it is equal to, you can write in this form, minus of nu into del u del y at y is equal to 0, or you can also write this as tau wall by rho minus tau wall by rho. It's all the same. Okay, so any one of them you can use. So now what we can do, we can take this u infinity square common, and we can write u infinity square common, or you can divide both sides by u infinity square. Better you do that. So divide both sides by u infinity square. U infinity is a constant, so put it within that integration and differentiation sign. So it will become u square by u infinity square minus this, and put a negative sign also, you multiply it by negative, so that this will become positive. So it will become u infinity into u by u infinity square minus u by u infinity whole square, and the whole thing is multiplied by dy is equal to minus of, say, tau wall by rho. That minus term will no longer will there, because we have already multiplied by minus. So this will be there. Now you can simplify, and you can just take common u by u infinity. So you can write this quantity as u by u infinity into 1 minus u by u infinity into dy, and which is equal to tau wall by rho, and you have divided both sides by u infinity square, so here u infinity square will be there, I'm sorry, so u infinity square will be there when you divide by u infinity square both sides. So this is what is the expression, and this equation is what is called the von Karman's momentum integral equation, and this equation directly gives you an idea about how you can estimate the value of the shear stress if you know the velocity distribution. That means if you know this u by u infinity as a function of y by delta, then just simply putting that function here, it is possible to estimate the value of delta and hence the wall shear stress. Let us see how can we do that. So this is what is the von Karman's momentum integral equation. This is momentum integral equation. Now next we'll see how can we consider the approximate velocity profile. Now approximate velocity profile, we have to choose this u by u infinity is equal to some approximate velocity profile. Let us consider it's a third order polynomial, say a0 plus a1 into y by delta plus a2 into, say, y by delta whole square plus a3 into y by delta whole cube. So if we consider this as the velocity profile, then we can find out this coefficient by considering certain boundary conditions. So what boundary conditions? The first boundary condition, definitely you can use that at least what is our objective is that at least this velocity profile must satisfy at the boundaries. That means at y is equal to 0 and y is equal to delta. At least the velocity profile satisfy the boundaries. So and then we will find out what are the coefficients. So boundary conditions is at y is equal to 0, the velocity is 0 because of no slip boundary condition. Next boundary condition you can consider at y is equal to delta, u is equal to u infinity. That is clear. Now third boundary condition we can put is that at y is equal to delta, the velocity gradient at y is equal to delta, the velocity gradient, there is no velocity gradient after that. So velocity gradient del u del y is equal to 0. And the fourth boundary condition is at y is equal to 0, del 2u del y2 is equal to 0. The first three boundary condition is quite intuitive, but the fourth one is not so intuitive. But if you remember the momentum equation within the boundary, u that is the boundary layer equation, u into del u del x plus v into del u del y, and that is equal to nu into del 2u del y2. This was the momentum, this was the boundary layer equation. Now at y is equal to 0, what we can write? Definitely at y is equal to 0, this u is 0 because of no slip boundary condition. At y is equal to 0, v is 0 because of no penetration boundary condition. And if these two quantities are 0, definitely at y is equal to 0, this quantity will become 0. That means del 2u del y2 is 0. Okay, so somehow through this boundary condition we have tried to use the actual Navier-Stokes equation a bit, or the boundary layer equations that is also inherent within this boundary condition. So it is expected that this velocity profile give you not bad result. Okay, so if you consider this boundary condition, from boundary condition 1 you first apply, and that will give you definitely a0 is equal to 0. Then you apply boundary condition 4, and that will give you that a2 is equal to 0. Then you apply boundary condition 3 and 2 to solve the other two, that means a1 and a3. And if you do that, you will find that I am not doing that algebra part, you can easily do it. So you will get that a1 will be equal to 3 by 2 and a3 will be equal to minus of half. Okay, so this will be the solution. So finally the velocity profile will be of the form u by u infinity is equal to 3 by 2 y by delta minus half y by delta whole cube. Okay, so this is what is the approximate boundary approximate velocity profile that we are going to consider to solve this momentum integral equation, and use the momentum integral equation to find out delta and wall shear stress. So for that let us now let us see how can we estimate the boundary layer thickness and the skin friction coefficient from the momentum integral equation. So we have seen that the momentum integral equation is ddx of integral u by u infinity into 1 minus u by u infinity dy from 0 to delta is equal to tau wall by rho u infinity square. Okay, so now what we can do is that we have considered the approximate velocity profile, which is 3 by 2 y by delta minus half of y by delta whole cube. Now let us substitute this y by delta as nu as eta, another variable. So what will be dy? That will be delta into d eta. And what will be the limit of integration? So y is equal to 0 to delta will now become eta is equal to 0 to 1. Okay, because when y is equal to delta, eta is equal to 1. So if you just simply put these informations here, what you are going to get is that ddx of integration 0 to 1 u by u infinity is what? 3 by 2 eta minus half eta cube and 1 minus 3 by 2 eta plus half eta cube d eta. Okay, and there is another multiplication of, because delta. Okay, so it will be multiplied by delta. Okay, so let us write it in this way. This is what is the integral part, and ddx is as if outside. Okay, and definitely this integral part from 0 to 1 to this quantity is nothing but a simple number, and delta is function of x, so d delta dx will be there, and that is equal to, on the other hand, is tau wall by rho u infinity square, and 1 by rho u infinity square, and tau wall is what? You know that mu into del u del y at y is equal to 0. Now if you simply do this integration, you will get the result as 39 by 280, and delta will be there, so d delta dx, that will be in the left hand side. On the right hand side, you can see it is mu into rho u infinity square into del u del y at y is equal to 0. If you do del u del y at y is equal to 0, if you just simply differentiate this quantity, what you are going to get is that, let me do it in green, you see that 1 by u infinity into del u del y, and that will be is equal to 3 by 2 delta minus half into 3y square by delta cube. But at y is equal to 0 we want to find out, so at y is equal to 0, this second term containing y will become 0, so this quantity is become 3 by 2 delta. So what is del u del y at y is equal to 0? This u infinity will be multiplied on the other side, so that quantity finally will become 3 into u infinity divided by 2 delta. Okay, so this is what we are getting here. So now you just simplify the quantities. You can put delta on the other side, so it will be delta d delta, and that will be is equal to what? That will be is equal to, you see this 3 and 39 will cancel, 313, and this 2 will cancel with 280 by 140, so 140 divided by 13 into what is there, mu by rho u infinity, mu by rho u infinity, and dx will be multiplied here. Now if you simply integrate, from x is equal to 0, at x is equal to 0, delta is 0, because this is the flat plate. At x is equal to 0, boundary layer thickness is 0. At x is equal to any x, boundary layer thickness is, say, delta. So in the left hand side, it is delta square divided by 2 is equal to 140 divided by 13 into mu x by rho u infinity, mu x by rho u infinity. So we can estimate delta square as a function of x, as you can see. So just multiply these 2 on the other side, and it will become 280 by 30. So if you just simply add delta square is equal to 280 by 13 into mu x by rho u infinity, mu x by rho u infinity. So now if you divide both sides by x square, x square, and then 1x will cancel, and if you now square root both sides, here you see that 1x will cancel, and if you square root both sides, it will become 280 by 13 into mu by rho u infinity into x, and the square root of that, and which is nothing but root over 280 by 13. If you do this calculation, you will get, it is around 4.64, and this quantity is, you can see, just the reciprocal of the Reynolds number, because Reynolds number, local Reynolds number at x considered as length scale, so rho u infinity into x by mu. So it is this divided by re x. So this is what is the expression of delta by x. So delta is equal to 4.64x by this. Okay, so this is what is the result that you can see, and this result is not bad result, though we have considered approximate velocity profile. If you see the actual result, then that actual result is delta by x is 5 by root over rex. Okay, so this is a very close one, it's not a very bad one. Now 4.64x by root over rex. Now if you want to find out the local wall shear stress, that we know that tau wall is equal to mu into del u del y at y is equal to 0. Okay, so if you simply write this quantity as mu into, and what is del u del y at y is equal to 0, we have just seen that del u del y at y is equal to 0 is nothing but 3 into u infinity by 2 delta. Okay, 3 into u infinity by 2 delta. So you just put 3 into u infinity by 2 delta. Now the value of delta you just put from what we got here, that delta is equal to, so 3 by 2 is there, then it is mu into u infinity is there. Okay, and 1 by delta is nothing but root over rex divided by 4.64 into x, 4.64 into x. Okay, and this 3 by 2 divided by 4.64, if you simplify this quantity, it will become 0.323 into this quantity, that is mu into u infinity, and here you can also see that mu into u infinity, okay, sorry, by x root over rex. Okay, so this is what you are getting as a tau wall. And non-dimensional shear stress, or the skin friction coefficient, if you want to estimate, so that will be simply this tau wall divided by rho u infinity square. So that you can easily find out by considering the local skin friction coefficient, CFX. That CFX is defined as tau wall divided by half rho u infinity square. So already we have got the expression of tau wall. If we use that result, 0.323 mu u infinity, so 0.323 mu u infinity divided by x into root over rex, and that quantity is divided by half rho u infinity square. So that divided by half rho u infinity square. If you do this, this 2 will multiply it, so it will be 0.646, and what else, you can see this 1 u infinity will cancel, so it will become mu by rho u infinity into x into root over rex. So that is equal to 0.646 into root over rex divided by this quantity is nothing but 1 by rex. So final result is CFX, you can see, is 0.646 by root over rex. If you compare with the actual result, that actual result is 0.664 by root over rex. This is what is the actual result, but this result is very close, since it is integrated over the whole boundary layer, and it is giving a very close result. Okay, so this is what is this local skin friction coefficient. But if you want to find out what is the drag force, which is the ultimate objective of the whole analysis, we are actually interested to find out what is the drag force, net drag force acting. So net drag force is definitely integration of wall shear stress into that small area, that is B into dx. If you remember, if this is the flat plate, this is basically the width B, so this is the small area at a distance x from the leading edge. This is what is dx. So B dx is basically this area, and if you integrate this x from 0 to L, where L is the total length of the plate that we are considering. So now if you just put the this quantity in terms of the local skin friction coefficient, so you know that how it is related, because tau wall divided by half rho u infinity square is what is CFX. Okay, so in terms of CFX, if you write 0 to L, it is half rho u infinity square into CFX into B dx. Okay, and now this quantity, and now we can write in this way as half rho u infinity square, then we can write B, that will also come out the integration. If we write the whole area, whole reference area in this case of a flat plate is B into L. B into L is basically the total area of the flat plate. So B into L, so L is not there, so 1 by L you have to make, then 0 to L CFX into dx. So this is what is the expression of the drag force. So now we can define a quantity which is called the average skin friction coefficient. Average skin friction coefficient, and that quantity is CF bar, which is defined as the total drag force divided by half rho u infinity square into the reference area, where this reference area in case of a flat plate is nothing but this is what is the reference area, A reference. In case of a flat plate, this is the B into L. So this quantity is nothing but what? 1 by L integral 0 to L CFX into dx. So you can see this is basically the local skin friction coefficient. If you take the average of that over the length, that is basically the average skin friction coefficient. So that can be easily found out now, 1 by L into, if you put the value of CFX, which is 0.646 divided by root over REX. And what is REX? You know that REX is nothing but rho into u infinity into x divided by mu. So what is root over REX? That is this quantity. Okay, so that divided by root over REX means it is basically mu divided by rho u infinity, square root of that will be there, and at the bottom it will be x to the power half. So that means x to the power minus half into dx. Okay, so we have just put the value of the CFX, and you see all these quantities are constant, will come out of the integration, and only the integration of x to the power minus half is to be done. The integration of x to the power minus half is what? That is x to the power half divided by half. That means 2 into x to the power half. So 2 will be multiplied. So finally 0.646 into 2, that will be what? 1.292. 1.292, that will be there, and what else will be there? Divided by L is there, and mu by rho u infinity will be there, and this will be x to the power half. So root over x. So root over x will be there. Okay, so actually root over L will be there because the limit is 0 to L. So it will be root over L. So root over L will be there. So finally the result what you are getting is, I am writing in red, and that will be the final result, that is 1.292 into, you see this root L and this is L will cancel, so root L will be at the bottom, so square root of mu divided by rho u infinity into L, and this quantity is nothing but 1 by root over REL. Okay, so final result will be CF average is equal to 1.292 by root over REL, where L is the total length of the flat plate. This is what is the CF average. So this CF average actually very helpful in calculating the drag, because if you want to find out the drag force, so first we find using this formula we find out what is the average CF, and then what we do, we simply use this formula, FD is equal to half rho u infinity square into the reference area, that is BL, into CF average, and that will give you the drag force. So CF average once is calculated from this formula, then you multiply it by half rho u infinity square and the reference area, you will get the drag force. Okay, this is what is the approximate result. The actual result of CF bar is 1.328 divided by root over REL. Okay, 1.328 I think is the twice of 0.664. So 1.328 is the result. This is what is the average CF or the actual solution. This is for the approximate solution. Okay, so thank you.